everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Today's game features one of the best offenses in the NFL. The Vikings rank in the yards, and they go up against the Bears defense that believes in itself. So for the call of this Week 17 matchup, let's send it out to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback. First carry for the tailback, Jeremy Langford. And he powers his way up past the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On 2nd down, Langford. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
This is Langford on 1st and 10. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Calling an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
They'll try to run for the first with Langford. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
Now, that result is no surprise. This team is bringing back memories of what? The 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those teams were so great against the run, they made you abandon any plans of doing that when you played against them.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Petty now. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. First carry now for Adrian Peterson. And he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet.
And he stopped immediately there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
And that's why you see so many teams play a 3-4 defense, because that set gives you a lot of flexibility about where to bring pressure from, and it's hard for an offense to pick it up. Left side, right side, up the middle, especially with some really flexible linebackers.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
On second down, Peterson. 4 yards out there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. So they run it on second down. Now let's see what third down brings here for the offense.
Now let's go. 319. 319.
Here's Petty. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball.
And now it's out. Langford loses the football. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit.
All right, here we go. 319.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
319.
He'll look to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And he's brought down. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
The open man is Treadwell, and he's got it for the Minnesota touchdown. Laquan Treadwell, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Minnesota defense, we watch them get set to roll. Coming off that fumble recovery last time, so maybe they come out here with bigger eyes, a little bit more excitement.
No doubt about it, and I would hate to be a guy in the NFL nowadays that has the football in his hands. Because in the old days, you just worried about getting tackled. Now, they're trying to strip the football, create the takeaways, and that's often more embarrassing than getting knocked to the ground.
Have they gotten much better since your playing days at stripping the football?
So far beyond what we used to talk about. Our thing was just securing tackles, and if turnovers were a result of the tackle, that was one thing. But now they want you to secure the tackle, the next guy in, he's working to stripping the ball out, creating takeaways, getting it away from the offense is crucial.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Hoyer. Over the middle here to Brown. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Call it a gain of 3. And that'll lead here to a third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now Hoyer. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
They'll run here. This is Kadeem Carey. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Once again, it's Carey. 1 yard and now no yards. Have him looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. So he runs it for 1 yard, then no gain. I don't know that you go back to that well here on third down.
Yeah, I don't know that you do as well, but if you want to get the ball to him, if you want him to have it, maybe you get him into space and throw it to him.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Here's Hoyer. On the right side, this is Miller. And he's brought down after a good gain. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Carey now. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down at 5 here to start things out. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. All right, Charles, as a former defensive back, how disheartening to actually catch it, but just not be able to stay in bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because, you know, the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it. Just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out.
First offense.
comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
And Gold is able to put it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch, counter punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Again, Peterson. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Back 99 Philly, here we go!
2 receivers left, 1 to the right.
All right, here we go. 319! 319!
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Petty now. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
So 2nd and 10 here. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Fresh set of downs here. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come up in an offset eye. They run again on first down. Peterson. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
That was a good, strong run there. While it won't pick up a first down, it was definitely something needed by that offense. A positive run. They got a good push by their guys up front. Maybe something they can build on as this game continues.
Here's Petty. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he gets it down to the 32. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing.
Change, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college. With all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Johnson with a completion over the middle. It's a gain of 17 that time, and it'll give the Vikings a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught at the 2. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Offense looks to punch it in here from the 1 on, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adrian Peterson, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Oh, the spin. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
So we've got a 2nd and 5. They stay on the ground with Carey. And he cuts it back left. And he'll take this all the way down to the 15-yard line. A huge play there for Chicago. 58 yards. Well, they know they've got a good starter. Now the guy coming in to spell him shows he can run it pretty good as well.
And I think he appreciates the starter, wearing people down, tiring them out a little bit. He took full advantage, didn't he? Came in with fresh legs and carried the ball.
They'll run the option left. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. The first carry here for Jacquizz Rodgers. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Brandon, there's no doubt the defense has to be excited after stacking up back-to-back running plays. I still remember my old coaches saying, after you've had some success, you better be careful. They might have an answer for you. So make sure you watch your keys, play your techniques, and don't get overconfident.
Another carry now for Rodgers. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
They come out here in the eye. A 10th carry now for Peterson. Adrian Peterson off to the races. 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Adrian Peterson, his 10th touchdown of the season, second of the game. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe. Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. It's brought in by Kevin White. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Now Hoyer. And some room to roam now. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Given 6 on the play, and it's a second down. Here's Hoyer. Backing up. Drops it off for carry. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And they're going to face a third down. Hoyer. The catch made by Miller. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. And quickly, they get to the line. They'll look to throw now on first down. And his throw here is incomplete. He was looking for Zach Miller as tight end there. That'll bring up second down. Second and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. One receiver right, that's Jeffrey. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. On for the field goal try, Robbie Gould. His career long, 58. This will be from 56 yards out. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And now out comes Minnesota. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few adjustments.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. A near turnover, but the offense recovers it. Now they'll try to regroup on second.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
On play action, they'll throw. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now Carey. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out. And never mind, Larry. These 2 teams apparently anxious to get back at it. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
3 down, 3 down. Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete. Close there. He caught it, just wasn't able to stay in bounds.
And that's where the sideline, it was used as a 12th defender. You know, 11's legal. This one is an imaginary one that my college coach used to call Sammy Sideline. Sammy Sideline can protect you at times, and in this case, that's exactly what he did for the defenders.
Pernell McPhee in there on the stop.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
Here's Patty. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Green, 39.
Petty now. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on 3rd.
Could play an exotic coverage.
He'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
And Miller with it over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
This is Carey. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. They get 25 yards out of that one. And that leads to a Chicago 1st down.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Hoyer. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense that they try and get him the ball early. And, of course, what comes after that is often. And for them to limit him and him not catch a ball until the second half, it's a big reason why his team is behind on the scoreboard.
They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Here's Hoyer. Surveying the field. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And out of bounds right around the 20. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here comes Robbie Gould for the Bears field goal try. From the left hash, this from 37. And Gold is able to put it through, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. So his third field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear. They want to close this gap.
Ooh, with a juke. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments. And you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half. It gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
And he's brought down after a good game.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll make it a second down. And just a small to why they...
That's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Here's Patty. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And he'll go down at the 28. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it second down.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
And I know it's hard in live action, but you've got to keep your hands away from the face. That's a 15-yard penalty.
You work on it all the time, making sure your target area is lower and trying to keep your hands away from the face mask so you don't get the big penalty.
So they're operating in the red zone. Now a play fake here on first down. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Their dangerous wide receiver with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so.
Really tough drive, but that run help salvage something there, because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back. But now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
Making the stop there, Danielle Hunter.
Let's give plenty of credit to the defense there. They stuffed them on 2nd and short. But if you're the offense, why would you change what you're doing? You've got a whole nother down to pick it up, and maybe even a 4th if you so choose.
Now Hoyer, and that is incomplete.
I have to say that was a surprise call on 3rd and inches. I thought they'd try and run the football there, but you got to believe they thought they'd surprise the defense and pick up something downfield, but that one goes incomplete.
And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
And got his man complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Laquan Treadwell, 79 yards. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air.
And oh, it's blocked. The Bears pick it up. But he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
I remember when they changed the rule, and there's a lot of consternation, especially coming from the kickers. Okay, how's this going to affect things, having to kick a longer one now? Much more of a field goal attempt. And the defensive guys saw it as an opportunity to get more block.
That's exactly right. There's more effort now. Before, when it was snapped down near the goal line, you would basically see guys just stand there.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, those guys are going after it, because not only can they knock it away and change a little bit of momentum,
and get 2 points.
They can pick it up and take it back for 2 points.
Marching back out there, ready for the next possession. Here comes the Vikings defense. They were able to force that 3 and out. That led to a touchdown. And defenses obviously love 3 and outs. They want more of that.
They created a very short and not too sweet stint for the offense by getting them off the field that fast, but it set up their own offense, gave them a little spark, and they took it downfield and scored.
Now the question, can they do it again? Let's see. The drive starts on the ground with Carey. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. One quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more. Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. And it's taken in at the 9. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. We focus our attention on the Bears defense now. And with this deficit, let's be honest, it's time for them to get a stop.
And partners, you understand very well from our time together and visiting with coaches, defensive coordinators tend to be a little more emotional, a little more high-strung than others.
They are.
I have a feeling that speech came out about taking a stand and bowing up in this possession.
Yeah, that's where this word pride comes out, right?
In a big way.
They start the drive with Peterson. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
They run once more with McKinnon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Escapes the sack. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on first down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on first down.
They come out here in the eye. They'll run. It's Roger. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down. Here comes Robbie Gould for the Bears field goal try. And Gould is able to put it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to feel a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Bears defense as they head out to set up shop now. They recovered the fumble last time. 3 turnovers for them in this game. They've been, that word opportunistic comes to mind, right?
Exactly right. And you know guys on defense, they say the turnovers. And offensive guys call them turnovers. We call them takeaways. We go get them. And that's exactly what they've done in this game.
The former DB making sure you know their takeaways on the defense.
Takeaways, man.
They'll get 17 yards there. And that leads to a Minnesota first down. Let's discuss now this performance as it relates to the last one. You know, a week ago, and we saw it, some pinpoint accuracy. He's displaying that again.
That was a fun film session for us, wasn't it? Able to kick back and watch him work. And what we saw was a confident leader, a guy in control, making excellent throws at times. And he's brought that with him in this ball game as well. And starting to think that he's starting to feel like, yeah, I've got this thing down pat. And I think the team will come along with him.
Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
We got three, fellas. We got three. Let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up. 3rd down now following the run.
Set. Green 39. Green 39. Mike, 44's Mike. Check.
Petty now. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they've rallied and made the tackle.
Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
And now out comes Minnesota. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And he is picking up right where he left off a week ago. I wrote down, so funny here in my notes, what he said last week. And after we talked about the good game, he said, I will do it again. And I wrote those words down, and he's done it again.
And it's not bragging if you're doing it, right? Because that's exactly what he's told you, and he is getting it done. Smooth in the secondary, making catches, making plays. That's the guy that we know.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. The play clock's running down. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. The man in motion left here, Johnson. Time running out here on the play clock. On the toss, it's McKinnon. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Let's go. Blue line. Detroit. Over.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete here. Brandon Coleman was the intended target. And it's third down.
It's always a good play when you're able to bat a ball away or down, because if you actually tip it in the air, now the offense is getting a second shot at catching the football, or another receiver may come along and grab it out of the air and turn it into a big play. So if you make a play on the ball, make sure it's knocked away or down. Otherwise, there could be some jeopardy. The Bears have put an extra defender in the secondary on third down.
Yep, they're in the nickel. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Now Blair Walsh for the Viking field goal. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Here's Hoyer. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third. And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on third.
Playing coverage here.
Hoyer finding time. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
That's taken on the 25. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Let's go! Green, 39!
Here again is McKinnon. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 11.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And what is going on here? I've got 3rd down. Screen shows 3rd down, but they've got the punt team out there. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game, offense. Still third down.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise there in the dime. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.